this should please a lot of people. And just to answer Inshoma real quick, that's a little bit dark. He just says to King of Kaiju, "Well, I hate the internet. It shot my parents in a Gotham theater rally." Okay, dude, you didn't really need to go there.
Oh,
yeah, that's a little on the
ouch.
Yeah. But like I say, onto something a little more pleasing. It has been confirmed Sir Patrick Stewart is to star in a new Star Trek series as Jean-Luc Picard.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's official. Patrick Stewart is returning to the Star Trek franchise. The acclaimed Shakespearean actor is set to headline a new Star Trek series for CBS All Access, reprising his iconic Next Generation character, Captain Jean-Luc Picard. The project, which has been rumored since the June announcement of a Star Trek universe expansion with a new series, I smell a few worrying signs already, was unveiled by Patrick himself in a surprise appearance at Las Vegas Star Trek convention, which in the link is the video above the description. The new series, which is not a Star Trek Next Generation reboot, will tell the story of the next chapter of Picard's life. It will be shepherded by Star Trek Discovery co-creator, executive producer Alec Kurtzman. Oh dear. Who was tapped to oversee development of new Star Trek content under a big new overhaul deal with CBS TV studios. With overwhelming joy, it's a privilege to welcome Sir Patrick Stewart back to the Star Trek fold, Kurtzman said. For over 20 years, fans have hoped for the return of Captain Jean-Luc Picard, and that day is finally here. We can't wait to forge new ground, surprise people, and honor generations, both new and old. On the creative team for the new series starring Stewart, Kurtzman will be joined by James Duff, who recently joined Star Trek Discovery as executive producer and signed a CBS Studios overall deal. Former Discovery executive producer Akiva Goldsman, Michael Chabon, and Discovery writer Kristen Beyer. Stewart, Chabon, and Goldsman executive produced with Discovery executive producers Duff, Kurtzman, and Heather Cadden of Secret Hideout, as well as Roddenberry Entertainment president Eugene Roddenberry, son of Star Trek creator Gene Roddenberry, and Roddenberry Entertainment COO Trevor Roth. Well, I'll let people read that at their leisure, but I'm just going to start off by saying the fact that Sir Patrick will make it so once again, it's pleasing to me because Star Trek was my admission into the Star Trek franchise. I've always been aware of Kirk, Spock, Scotty, and various members of the original series and crew, but I was more drawn to the Next Generation. There was, if Kirk was the kind of fire and passion and, and leaping before looking, Picard was always the wise and logical and always looking at things from a perspective of, let's look at this from a different angle. Let's proceed cautiously, because there's such a contrasting difference in how you look at both legendary captains. Like I say, Kirk was a very man of action, whereas because Picard knows he has the safety and the responsibility of everybody aboard the Enterprise, he has to make the best judgmental call of how to take that crew forward. And, well, this is why I rate Picard over Kirk. Nothing against William Shatner, because if we didn't have Shatner as Kirk, we wouldn't have anything of Star Trek. Well, we would have something, but would we know it as what we have today? I mean, for all we know, in the 80s, if they had gone with a different version of Star Trek, we could have had Rob Schneider as Captain Picard. We could have. I'm glad we didn't, but we could have. That'd be like, if they ever did a Star Trek reboot and they had Andy Dick as Captain Kirk.
Oh, for fuck's sakes.
God.
I think Kaiju would say something like, that's just offensive on the whole face of it. Mind you, I'm amazed to this day that he was one of the scientists on the Inspector Gadget movie from 1999. It was one of those weird movies, but all in all, real happy that we're going to see Picard again, because I always felt like Picard had unfinished business. Just as Patrick Stewart was going off being Professor X in the X-Men series, I always got that feeling like, is he ever going to come back to Star Trek? And because, after giving the performance that he gave in Logan last year, it's like, you're not going to see him come back, not unless it's like I don't know, like if they ever decide to do a what if storyline where it's an alternate universe thing and they say, would you like to come back just to do this storyline? It could happen, but, the timing's right for him to come back. And he's actually said in interviews, if the right story and right opportunity came along, I would reprise my role as Picard. And, the right opportunity came knocking, so I'm real happy for that. Wynn, we'll start with you this time. What's your take?
It could be good, because, hey, if we get to see Patrick Stewart redon the role of Jean-Luc Picard, then there's at least one factor to make it somewhat good, even if the writing is just meh. Because it's Patrick freaking Stewart. The guy hasn't missed a beat in years, and frankly, when you look at him, he hasn't aged much since 1988, if you look at the guy. He looks the same as he did. Not to mention his antics with Ian McKellen, aka Magneto, off screen, where they occasionally go on vacation and stuff together, like they're BFFs. That's just that's a treat in itself. Just Patrick Stewart, to sum it up, is a treat. So if episodes can wind up on Netflix or Hulu, seeing as I don't exactly have cable, I'll definitely give it a watch. If not, then he may be making me debate on bundling my internet package with some cable just to watch that, because I would. Star Trek The Next Generation was something when I was a kid that I watched with my mom. It was one of the sci-fi franchises she did actually like, especially Next Generation. Her second favorite being Voyager.
It has to be said with Next Generation, when you watch it today, it's one of those shows from back in the day that it still holds up, even with like the advances in special and visual effects. Particularly when you look at the teleportation scenes, they still look convincing to this day, even for, like I say, a late 80s show. But what really makes it hold up incredibly well, it's the writing and the dialogue. It's a very... Because Stewart describes Star Trek as being, when he went into it, it's very logical and elegant. There's a certain finesse about it. Everything is always addressed and resolved with logical and tactful resolutions to problems that they encounter. And, there wasn't like one cast member that wasn't annoying, except for "Shut up, Wesley." But yeah, I hold that in high regard, and I'm beginning to question how many more Star Trek alumni casts are going to show up on The Big Bang Theory, because we've had Will Wheaton, we've had Brent Spiner, and we've even had help me out here, is the actor who played Geordie LaForge.
LeVar Burton.
Yeah, LeVar Burton. I like it when he shows up in Sheldon and Leonard's apartment, and he sees the three guys doing karaoke whilst Stewart's just got the towel around him. He's like, oh, I don't think so. I am so done with Twitter. But, you know, if they were able to get Patrick Stewart in, you know, just even if it's just like for a fleeting moment where he just says, either just says to either Will or Sheldon, shut up.
Oh God, yes.
That'd be perfect.
Shut up, Sheldon.
Didn't you say there was a tweet once where Will Wheaton was kind of getting a little miffed about the "Shut Up, Wesley" thing, and Patrick Stewart replied with "Shut up, Will."
Yes, that was brilliant.
Like, damn it! I need you focusing on the bridge, not shitposting and white knighting on Twitter.
Oh gosh, could you imagine what Picard would be like if he ever got on Twitter? That'd be amusing to watch.
Oh God, he would be savage. He would be savage as fuck.
Oh yes. Lids, your opinion?
Actually, I'm looking forward to seeing this. Like, Patrick Stewart was actually Jean-Luc Picard was my first captain, because before that I never heard of Star Trek, and then all of a sudden we started watching Star Trek: The Next Generation. I'm like, oh, this show's awesome, and this guy's cool. So if from the Star Trek fan base, I associate two people: Leonard Nimoy, God rest his soul, and Patrick Stewart. I like William Shatner fine, but yeah, you can't beat Jean-Luc Picard. I'm sorry. So I'm actually looking forward to this. I might check this out because, come on, it's Patrick Stewart. Come on. And if he were to appear on The Big Bang Theory, he would say, "This is more demeaning than that time I was in the Emoji Movie." Just walk away.
Yeah, my captain pecking order is Picard, Janeway, Sisko, Kirk, and Archer. I can't really say the captain in Discovery because I've never seen Discovery. I just know that some people like it and some people just weren't too keen about it.
I watched an episode. It was okay.
To answer King of Kaiju, what Win meant by shitposting is Picard will be coming along to Wesley and goes, "What are you doing shitposting on Twitter and white knighting everybody when you're supposed to be monitoring the bridge?"
Sir, I can't just stand by and let these poor women, defenseless women, get harassed on this cyberspace.
Shut up, Wesley!
Damn it, you beat me to it.